Now at 10, the governor of Missouri signs a bill to cut taxes for seniors in the state. Plus, a new law in Oklahoma allows bar patrons to buy their beer in a new way. And the city of Columbus, Kansas celebrates its second annual Freedom Fest.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Cherryvale, Kansas arrested a 14-year-old for homicide. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Amber Jenkins. Police say they responded to a shooting yesterday around 1:30 p.m. at 21079 Douglas Road in Cherryvale. When they arrived, they found 74-year-old Thane Anderson dead from a gunshot wound to the head. Cherryvale police immediately requested assistance from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Authorities determined the suspect to be a 14-year-old male who was arrested. The investigation is still ongoing. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for the first look at weather.
All right, thank you very much. We have a beautiful day across the area, a little bit on the warm side, but that's typical for July. Now we're starting to see some thunderstorms rolling into the western portions of our viewing area from eastern Greenwood County down in southwestern Woodson County, down near Fredonia, down into northern Montgomery County, just a few lightning bolts here and there. Those showers are going to continue to move to the south and east. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at the sunshine coming back out and the UV index going way up to the very high category, around 10, which means about 15 to 25 minutes before you start to burn. So definitely have your hat, sunglasses, and your suntan lotion, and find some shade if you can. One of the places you can do that is probably out at the lake. We're looking at Grand right now, pretty much close to normal with 80-degree water temperature. Table Rock looking pretty good right now, about half a foot above normal. And up in Stockton, we're looking at about the same conditions, half a foot above normal and a water temperature of 82 degrees. Now looking down the lane, we're going to have some isolated thunderstorms. It's going to get hot again, more summer-like, and then we're also going to be looking at unsettled weather next weekend. And of course, the drought continues as well, and I'll have all the details on that in just a bit.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson this week signed the tax cut. He said this cut is why he vetoed most of the spending items he cut from the state budget last week. The new law exempts Social Security benefits and public pension payments from income tax. Officials say it will reduce the state general revenue by more than $300 million annually. It will also allow counties to hold a vote on whether people 62 or older should be exempt from increases in their annual property tax bills. A new report highlights public school districts violating state law by not properly distributing millions of dollars in funds marked for students at risk of failing academically. This is the second report in 4 years on the topic by the Kansas legislative auditors. The State Department of Education had provided districts a list of 272 at-risk programs options. Auditors say they looked at the programs and they did not meet the statutory criteria and calling for a new list to be made. Folks in Columbus, Kansas, were celebrating our nation's freedom today. The Columbus Fire Department hosted the second annual Freedom Fest at the city park. Some of the events included turtle races, a water balloon toss, a cornhole tournament, helicopter rides, and more. But it all started with a 5K and a kids' fun run. Officials say 50 people turned out for the 5K.
So the Rec Commission is co-sponsoring this, and we did have a $100 random prize drawing for any 5K finisher. So it's real important to get out and get active, and that's just what we're trying to promote here.
The fire department also cooked hot dogs and hamburgers for everybody. The town of Bronson, Kansas is also celebrating. Today is the 49th annual Bronson Day. It featured a variety of events, including a horseshoe pitching contest, a parade, kids games, a cakewalk, cornhole, and a basketball tournament. Organizers say this event is designed to celebrate their small community and their togetherness.
It's really just about community and bringing everybody back home. You know, like most small towns after the railroad left, a lot of things left this community, and so this allows everyone to have something to come back to and join together.
The fun was capped off with a fireworks show. A car show in Pittsburgh today raised money for kids in need. It happened in the parking lot of the Walmart Supercenter. Dozens of vehicles were entered, and there was also a booth set up with snacks, water, and other items for sale. Those sales and the registration fees will benefit the Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
There's a lot of car shows that go on around here, and so we were able to venture out and talk to different group leaders, and we were able to get a turnout. And so our goal is to raise as much money as possible to send over to Freeman Hospital over in Joplin.
The winner of the car show received $200, but the fundraising continues tomorrow. The Southeast Kansas Princesses will be hosting an event in the Walmart parking lot with a photo booth, face painting, street art, cornhole, and more. The George Washington Carver National Monument celebrates the life of Carver and the establishment of the park. To honor 80 years, the National Park invited guest speakers, local jazz musicians, and even a traveling children's theater from North Carolina. According to park rangers, the National Park witnessed many changes over the years, but its impact on the community stays the same.
Well, there's been a lot of changes to this park. We've added on to the visitor center. The visitor center is a lot larger. We get a lot of visitors here. We get a lot of kids here. So the impact is really good, and we just want to continue to celebrate this wonderful individual's life and his legacy.
The event lasted from today at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Coming up, a new law in Oklahoma allows bar patrons to buy their beer in a new way. Plus, a Dallas man is facing charges of aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault of a child. A new law in Oklahoma is changing the way beer is sold. Bar patrons in the Sooner State can now buy their beers in a bucket. Reporter Bert Malono is in Tulsa with more.
Brand new buckets for ice cold beer, ready to go at Slow Ride Tavern.
When I woke up, I didn't think that was going to happen today, but here we are.
Owner Sean Wellborn was expecting the new bucket law to go into effect in November, but word came out that individuals can start buying buckets today.
It helps us do some things more efficiently maybe than we couldn't do before, and then also gives some value back to the customers.
It's a lot easier, especially when a bar is really busy.
For patrons, the change offers streamlining.
So if you know you're going to drink easily 3 beers, and maybe you share one with a friend, or a friend is coming back, you have a beer ready for them, it does have a lot of convenience.
Buying by the bucket could also save money.
You save a little change. It's usually $1 cheaper if you buy the bucket than ordering singles.
But for some, buying in bulk raises concerns.
When you just make it easy to have a lot, it just seems like it's taking them to a level quicker that might lead to poor decisions.
Jill Henry lost her son Hans 12 years ago when he was hit by a drunk driver.
Near and dear to every one of our family members and friends, and he was just our little firecracker.
With the new bucket law, she's hoping folks exercise caution.
In our experience, we just want to try to prevent any family from experiencing a tragedy, losing a family member. And it seems like, getting beer in mass in large volumes would just be a quick ticket to, making worse decisions like getting behind the wheel.
Dallas police made an arrest today after an abduction that triggered an Amber Alert. Police took Lenore Neal into custody this afternoon while on a DART bus. You might remember last month police identified Neal as the suspect in the kidnapping of a child who was missing for about 12 hours, then found later alive. Neal faces charges for aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault of a child. A little later, students in Central California are helping farm workers pick this season's produce.
And we're tracking some showers and thunderstorms moving into our area. I'll be back to tell you what that means in our forecast when we come back. Well, we had a mixed bag today. We had a little shower activity this morning, then we had bright sunshine and warm temperatures this afternoon. Now we're starting to see more showers moving into our area. Let's start out this morning at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort down in Seneca, Missouri. You can see the pavement wet there this morning with a few scattered showers. But then as the afternoon came, we started to see that break up a little bit. Sunshine came out, cumulus clouds developed across the area. And then this evening, mostly fair skies as the sun set and the Venus is out there in the western sky this evening. We made it up to 87 after starting out at 70 this morning, which was pretty close to the normals of 90 and 69 for this time of year. The record's 101 back in that simmering summer of 1980. Of course, we're way behind on the rainfall for the year at 9.5 inches, and That doesn't count last year, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But we do have some good news. We have some showers and storms on the radar, mainly out in western Kansas, but some of these are starting to sneak into our area, although they are starting to dissipate just a little bit as they get closer to us. Right now, just to the south and west of Yates Center, some showers developing there from Virgil to Quincy, just east of Toronto. And then if we take a little trip south, you can see some more storms in and around Independence, moving through northern Montgomery County. That's going to be moving over towards Mountain Valley and Parsons over the next half hour or so. So some folks are starting to see some showers this evening, and we definitely need it because look at the drought. It's exceptional, of course, still in Chautauqua and Elk counties, and now the extreme drought is expanding into western Missouri, especially central Missouri. We are desperately needing some rainfall, including Joplin. If you go all the way back to January 1 of 2022 up till now, we are about 13 inches behind on rainfall. The last time we were above normal on rain was way back in September of last year. That just kind of goes to show you how long this has been going on. It's kind of like a disaster in slow motion as far as the drought goes. Temperatures right now are in the 60s up towards the north, so at least we have some cooler air trying to filter in. Then we're seeing readings in the upper 70s down towards the south, like around Grove, where they're currently 76. Rain chances are going to be higher this evening and then decreasing and then picking up just a little bit tomorrow. Again, isolated showers and storms. And most of the storms are going to produce maybe around 1/10 of an inch of rain or less. Higher amounts down towards the south and west in Oklahoma, as that's where the best chance of showers will be. Now, over the next few days, we're going to be watching this ridge of high pressure expanding and amplifying off to our west, and that's going to put us into what we call a northwesterly flow pattern, and little pieces of energy are going to ride down this flow, and as it does so, we'll start to see the rain chances increasing, especially in the overnight and early morning hours, and that will continue through most of the week and into next weekend. Temperatures tonight are going to be in the 60s and 70s with the best chance of showers down to the south. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with highs in the 80s. And then as we go into Sunday night, Monday morning, again, isolated storms with lows in the 60s. And then as we go into Monday afternoon, isolated storms with highs near 90. And then Tuesday morning, here comes another wave coming down from the north and west with lows in the 70s. Over the next 7 days, we're going to see these often on chances of showers and storms, but it's going to be getting hot once again, close to 100 on Wednesday and Thursday, but a better chance of storms, I think, next weekend with highs in the upper 80s to around 90 and lows in the 60s. So we do have chances of showers and storms. We just need a lot more of them.
All right, well, looking good. Thank you. 2023 is shaping up to be one for the record books, but not in a good way. Climate scientists fear it could be one of the hottest years on record. Last month, the world experienced its warmest June on record by a substantial margin. And this week, the planet's average daily temperature soared to highs unseen in modern records, kept by 2 climate agencies in Europe and the U.S. Heat-related deaths in Maricopa County, Arizona have more than doubled since 2019. Doctors say even healthy adults can start to feel the negative effects of this kind of heat in as little as 15 minutes. Reporter Chris Van Cleve has more.
A Border Patrol helicopter raced to rescue 2 people in southern Arizona, dangerously overcome by the desert's searing heat. This newly released video shows a medic being lowered to the man and woman, one drifting in and out of consciousness. They were hoisted into the chopper and transported to a Tucson area hospital Monday.
It's not uncommon within 30 minutes to be unconscious from the heat.
Emergency room Dr. Frank Lavecchio is with Valleywise Health in Phoenix.
If you feel really weak, tired, nauseous, a lot of people get abdominal pain, some even get diarrhea. Those are all warning signs.
The Phoenix area is in the midst of a potentially historic heat wave. So far this year, 44 days have topped 100 degrees, the past 8 over 110.
Stay hydrated, take your breaks as you need them, try to get the job finished.
In Death Valley, California, a 65-year-old man was found dead in his car the morning after the temperature hit 126. And tragedy in Lakeland, Florida. An 18-month-old baby died after being left in a hot car overnight. Her parents, Joel and Jasmine Rondon, tested positive for alcohol and marijuana. This is the 10th child to die in a hot car so far this year.
He thought that Jasmine must have gotten the child, so he went in. Jasmine was in bed, asleep.
The high heat is not limited to the southern U.S. This week has been the hottest ever globally, and it's only the first week of July.
The hardest part for us is teaching people about prevention. Don't be outside on a day like this.
It's around 111 in Phoenix today, but the pavement is considerably hotter, closer to 150 to 160 degrees. That's enough to cause burns. Last year, it sent 85 people to the burn unit here in Phoenix. Several died. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
Still ahead, players from the Joplin Outlaws and the Nevada Griffins are set to compete in the Mink League Home Run Derby. And a former Crowder Community College baseball player has a big performance on a national stage. We'll go through the details next in sports.
On Friday, we revealed the players who will be representing the Joplin Outlaws and the Nevada Griffins in this year's Mink League All-Star Game. And now today, we know who will represent those teams in the Mink League Home Run Derby. This year, William Kelly from the Joplin Outlaws and London Penland from the Nevada Griffins have been selected to participate in the Mink League Home Run Derby this year. Kelly has 10 RBIs on the season, all of those coming from his raw power. Meanwhile, London Penland from Nevada has hit the second most home runs this year by a player in the Mink League. The Derby is scheduled to be before the Mink League All-Star Game, which will take place in Chillicothe, Missouri tomorrow night. The Nevada Griffins have had an up-and-down season, but as of recently, they put together some nice wins, including winning 9 of their last 14 games. Nevada continues their long road trip tonight, trying to separate themselves from last place against the Sedalia Bombers, trying to get back in that Mink League South Division race. Tough luck for Nevada and have a big comeback, but they come up just short. Sedalia walks it off 7-6 over Nevada. However, Tyson Dent goes 1 for 4 with a pair of RBIs for the Griffins. Former Crowder Rough Rider college baseball player Jacob Mizorowski is preparing to play one of the biggest showcases of his life. And no, it's not a call-up to the big leagues, but it's a taste of what could happen in the future. The former Rough Rider pitcher has a 2.53 ERA this year in the minors and a 2-1 win-loss record. He has over 70 strikeouts in his young minor league career. Mizorowski was selected in the second round last year out of Crowder Community College by the Milwaukee Brewers. Tonight, he took the mound in Seattle and absolutely crushed it, facing 4 batters, 3 strikeouts, and he topped out 102 miles per hour. Crowder Rough Rider Nation should be proud. Speaking of Major League Baseball, the Kansas City Royals are in action this afternoon, taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Yet another rough performance for Kansas City. Royals lose this one 10-6. However, Bobby Witt Jr. goes 3 for 5 with an RBI triple and solo home run, double shy of the cycle. Cardinals were also playing ball this afternoon in Chicago, taking on the White Sox. St. Louis had a frustrating loss last night, but they turn it around and pick up a nice win today. Cardinals win this one 3-0. Rookie Jordan Walker goes 2 for 4 with a solo home run. The Oklahoma City Thunder are well underway into this year's NBA Summer League. OKC has a pool of young talent that will get to showcase their skills in Sin City. In Las Vegas earlier this afternoon, the Oklahoma City Thunder meet their rival Dallas Mavericks. Thunder win this one 91-80. Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren, it was the NBA's second overall pick last season. He had a great performance by scoring 16 points with 10 rebounds. Former Kansas State Wildcat Keontae Johnson also had a solid performance by scoring 7 points and 6 rebounds. That'll be it for sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Every season, farm workers hit the fields to ensure that fresh produce is available in grocery stores and at restaurants all across the country. In the summer months, it can get pretty hard to work in those hot temperatures. However, students in Central California are trying to make that a little easier on them. Reporter Jocelyn Moran has the story.
This week marks the official start to summer. For farm workers in the fields, that means working under hotter temperatures.
En julio, es cuando son las temperaturas que ya a las 12 del día ya no quieres estar tú aquí a esta hora.
Armando Peña is a farm worker who has been working in the fields in the area for about 15 years. He got a look at the rest station built by students for when they take their breaks. It includes things like an umbrella for shade and charging stations.
Es algo que necesitan, pues yo creo que en todos los ranchos de aquí de la zona, algo para que tengan donde guardar sus pertenencias, donde acudir a tomar agua, suero para hidratarse, un descanso cuando está la calor fuerte, ¿no?
It was a project that was made possible through a partnership with nonprofit Hijas del Campo and Carondelet High School.
I think our hope with all of our projects is that we make a meaningful difference in the lives of people that really need to be lifted up in some way. I think that's okay.
Chris Walsh is one of the teachers who helped students build it.
Because of the bracket.
Step by step, students like Sofia Flores worked together throughout this last school year to create what they believe is very much needed. Everything you see was included for a purpose.
Here's some of my classmates. This is Tessa and Miriam. We have this like detachable umbrella that's like the main shade for our rest stop. And we have these like portable chairs, like soccer chairs, I guess, that people can sit on and have lunch.
It was a learning experience for them, but at the root, they did it knowing people in their community could benefit from this.
We just thought it was like a really important thing for like the people who are like picking our food and just working these long hours to have a place where they can just come and rest at least for like 10-15 minutes out of their long days.
So from the high school,
it has a Brita filter inside,
to now in the fields, this station highlights challenges that farm workers face and that with a team, it's possible to create solutions. Jocelyn Moran, CBS News, Concord, California.
Well, a helping hand can go a long way.
That's right. They're going to need those carts out there with the heat in the west. And also, we're going to be getting hot too as we head towards the middle part of the week with temperatures near 100. Better chance of storms, I think, next weekend with highs near normal, around 90, and lows in the 60s.
All right. What's going on in sports?
Cordell Tinch, he did make it to the semifinals, so he'll be at it tomorrow. And he also finished 5th in the long jump.
Well, that's pretty amazing. Well, that's our time for now, and thank you for making us a part of your night.